Here are Grandpa's 49 free gardening hacks to grow more food with less work. Bury kitchen scraps directly in the garden. Grandpa believed in feeding the soil the same way we feed ourselves, naturally. Instead of tossing veggie peels, eggshells, or coffee grounds in the trash, he'd dig a small hole between plants and bury the scraps directly into the garden. Covered with soil, they break down quickly, enriching the earth with nutrients and encouraging healthy microbial life. No need for a compost bin or turning piles, just let nature work. Once your soil is thriving beneath the surface, above ground, a little planting strategy keeps the harvest steady. Stagger plantings every few weeks. Keep your harvest going longer by planting in intervals. Instead of sowing all your seeds at once, plant a few rows every 2 to 3 weeks. This technique, called succession planting, ensures you'll have a steady flow of produce instead of one big, overwhelming crop. It works great with fast growers like lettuce, beans, and radishes. Plus, if pests or weather strike, not all is lost. And speaking of pests, there's a simple and effective trap that's been around for generations. Use beer in shallow dishes to trap slugs. Slugs were no match for Grandpa's old-school trick. He'd pour beer into shallow dishes or lids and place them near vulnerable plants at dusk. The slugs are drawn to the scent, crawl in, and can't crawl back out. It's safe, simple, and spares your greens from midnight munchers. Replace the beer every couple of days to keep it effective. No need for chemicals, just a classic, natural deterrent. Now that pests are handled, let's talk about why growing a little extra can go a long way. Plant extra and share with neighbors. Adding a few more plants than you need is a small effort with a big return. By growing extra tomatoes, squash, or herbs, you create a chance to share your harvest with neighbors, friends, or local food banks. It reduces waste, fosters community, and spreads the joy of homegrown food. Even a small bag of produce can brighten someone's day. It's gardening with heart, and your plants won't mind. Next, when it's time to get those seeds in the soil, one simple tool makes it practically foolproof. Use a pencil for perfectly spaced seed holes. No need for fancy gadgets. A pencil does the job beautifully. Use it to poke holes at uniform depth and spacing when planting seeds. It's especially helpful for small varieties like carrots, lettuce, or spinach. You can even mark measurements on the pencil to ensure consistent spacing. This keeps your rows neat and promotes even germination and stronger plants. It's a handy, precise tool that's always nearby. Efficient planting starts with little details, and this one just might become your favorite garden helper. Mark your rows with strings tied to old spoons. Keep planting straight and simple by reusing old kitchen spoons as row markers. Push one spoon at each end of your garden bed, tie a string between them, and use it as a guide while sowing seeds. This helps keep rows evenly spaced and aligned, making weeding and harvesting easier later on. It's a budget-friendly, low-effort solution that brings order to your garden. Plus, giving those worn-out spoons a second life feels good and looks charming too. Let chickens or ducks roam in the off-season. In the cooler months, Grandpa would let his chickens and ducks loose in the garden. Without crops to damage, the birds could forage for insects, aerate the soil, and leave behind natural fertilizer. It saved him labor and helped prepare the beds for next season. The birds happily cleaned up leftover plant matter and reduced pests without chemicals. It's a win-win. Healthier soil, happier animals, and one less job on your to-do list before spring planting begins. Plant garlic and onions around the perimeter. Do you want a natural pest barrier? Plant garlic and onions along the edges of your garden beds. Their strong scent repels common pests like aphids, deer, and rabbits, all while growing useful crops. These alliums don't take much space and work well with companion planting strategies. They also help define your garden's borders with purpose. Once planted, they do their work quietly and effectively. It's a simple way to add protection, flavor, and structure to your garden without lifting an extra finger. Make compost tea in a burlap sack. Boost your soil naturally by brewing compost tea. Fill a burlap sack or old pillowcase with mature compost. Tie it off and submerge it in a bucket of water for 2 to 3 days. Stir it daily to help the nutrients release. Once ready, pour or spray the liquid on your plants. This rich tea delivers beneficial microbes and minerals, improving soil health and plant growth. It's garden nourishment straight from your scraps, organic, efficient, and totally homemade. Use molasses in compost tea. Give your compost tea an extra punch by adding a tablespoon of unsulfured molasses while it brews. The natural sugars feed beneficial bacteria, helping them multiply quickly and supercharge the tea's microbial life. Stir daily as it steeps, then water your plants or spray it on leaves for a foliar boost. The result? Healthier roots, stronger growth, and improved soil structure. All with ingredients you already have. A little sweetness goes a long way when feeding your garden from the ground up. Label plants with broken clay pot shards. Give new life to broken clay pots by using the shards as garden labels. Write the plant name on the flat side of each piece using a permanent marker or paint pen. Then stick the shard upright in the soil near the plant. These markers are weather-resistant, easy to make, and add a rustic touch to your garden beds. It's a clever reuse that turns garden mishaps into helpful tools. Once your rows are labeled, it's time to gently guide your growing plants upward. Use old pantyhose to tie up plants. Old pantyhose make excellent plant ties. Cut them into thin strips and use them to secure tomato vines, peas, or tall flowers to stakes or trellises. The material is soft, stretchy, and won't damage delicate stems as they grow. Plus, it's breathable and blends in with most garden setups. This upcycled hack saves money and supports your plants through storms or heavy harvests. Once your plants are supported, don't forget to support your own efforts by tracking your garden's progress. Keep a garden journal. A garden journal helps you grow smarter each season. Use it to track planting dates, seed varieties, weather changes, successes, and setbacks. Jot down when pests arrive or when blooms first appear. Over time, patterns emerge that can improve yields and timing. It doesn't have to be fancy, just consistent. Keeping notes not only builds your skills, but also turns your garden into a story worth rereading. While your memories are on paper, your herbs deserve a spot in the pantry, and it starts by hanging them up. Hang herbs upside down to dry in a dark closet. Preserve your herbs the old-fashioned way. Gather them into small bunches, tie them with twine, and hang them upside down in a cool, dark, and dry space like a closet or pantry. Drying this way preserves essential oils and flavor, ensuring your herbs stay potent for cooking or tea. Most herbs are ready in 1 to 2 weeks. Once dry, crumble them into airtight containers for long-term use. While your herbs are curing quietly, there's a secret guest you might want to invite to your garden. Encourage toads and frogs. Toads and frogs are nature's pest control and your garden's best friend. Attract them by creating a shady, moist spot with overturned pots or logs and provide a shallow dish of water nearby. These amphibians feast on slugs, beetles, and other garden pests, reducing your need for sprays. Avoid using harsh chemicals to keep your garden safe for them. Once they move in, your plants will thrive with less pest pressure. Just one more way to let nature do some of the work for you. Add fireplace ash to the garden. Don't throw out wood ash. Sprinkle it in your garden beds. Hardwood ash contains potassium, calcium, and other trace minerals that help balance acidic soil and support healthy plant growth. Use it sparingly, especially around tomatoes, carrots, and flowering plants, and avoid applying near acid-loving crops like blueberries. Be sure the ash is completely cool and free of charcoal or chemical residue. It's a free, natural fertilizer that's been used for generations. With your soil enriched, it's time to prep your tools for the season ahead. Sharpen your tools with a file before every season. Sharp tools make gardening easier and cleaner. Before planting begins, take a metal file and run it along the edges of your shovels, hoes, and pruners at a consistent angle. This improves cutting efficiency, reduces strain, and helps protect plant stems from damage. After sharpening, wipe tools down with oil to prevent rust. Prepping your tools now saves time and effort all season long. Once they're ready to go, it's time to fortify your soil in another simple, time-tested way. Use crushed eggshells around plants. Crushed eggshells are more than kitchen waste. They're free calcium for your garden. Rinse and dry shells, then crush them finely and sprinkle around the base of plants like tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants. The shells slowly break down, releasing nutrients into the soil and helping prevent blossom and rot. They also act as a physical barrier against slugs and soft-bodied pests. Reapply every few weeks during the growing season. With your plants protected and nourished, let's tackle weeds the natural way. Make homemade vinegar weed killer. Kill weeds naturally with a quick vinegar mix. Combine 1 gallon of white vinegar, 1 tablespoon of dish soap, and a handful of salt in a spray bottle. Shake well and apply directly to the leaves of unwanted weeds on a sunny day. The vinegar draws out moisture, the salt dehydrates, and the soap helps it stick. It works best on sidewalks, driveways, and garden edges. Avoid spraying near your veggies. After clearing your space, get ready to give your seeds a gentle head start. Soak seeds overnight before planting. Give your seeds a boost by soaking them in room temperature water overnight before planting. This softens their outer shell and helps them absorb moisture faster, encouraging quicker and more even germination. It works especially well for larger or tougher seeds like beans, peas, squash, and sunflowers. Just don't soak them longer than 24 hours or they may rot. Once plumped, plant them as usual and watch them sprout with less delay. A little prep now means stronger starts and healthier crops later. Use upside-down wine bottles to slowly water plants. Old wine bottles make perfect self-watering tools. Fill a clean, empty bottle with water, then quickly flip it upside down and insert the neck into the soil near the plant roots. As the soil dries, water is gradually released, keeping the soil consistently moist. It's ideal for container plants or hot weather and saves you from daily watering. Plus, it's a stylish way to recycle while giving your plants steady hydration. Bury fish heads under heavy feeders like corn. Corn and other heavy feeders thrive on buried nutrients. Dig a deep hole beneath your planting spot and drop in a fish head or fish scraps before covering it with soil and planting. As the fish decomposes, it releases nitrogen, phosphorus, and trace minerals, feeding your plant roots naturally. It's an old trick for boosting plant vigor and yield. Just be sure it's deep enough to keep critters away. Start seeds in eggshell halves. Eggshells make the perfect biodegradable seed starters. Carefully crack eggs near the top, rinse the shells, and fill them with a little potting mix and your chosen seed. Keep them in an egg carton for easy handling and water gently. When the seedling is ready, plant the whole shell in the ground. Just crush it slightly to help the roots break through. Eggshells also add calcium to the soil as they decompose. Plant marigolds to deter pests. Bright, cheerful marigolds do more than decorate. They help repel pests like aphids, nematodes, and even rabbits. Plant them around the edges of your vegetable beds or in between rows to create a natural barrier. Their strong scent masks the smell of more desirable plants and confuses pests. Their low maintenance attract pollinators and bloom all season. A splash of color with real garden benefits. It's nature's built-in pest control. Bury rusty nails near acid lovers like blueberries. Blueberries, azaleas, and hydrangeas thrive in acidic soil. Burying a few old, rusty nails near their roots slowly lowers soil pH while adding trace iron as the metal breaks down. This helps these plants grow greener and produce more fruit or blooms. It's a slow-release method, so combine with other acidic mulch or soil amendments for best results. A little rust can bring lush results to the plants that need it most. Grow up, not out. Save space and increase yields by training plants to grow vertically instead of sprawling across the ground. Use stakes, trellises, cages, or even string lines to support climbing crops like cucumbers, beans, squash, or tomatoes. Growing upward improves air circulation, reduces disease, and makes harvesting easier. It's perfect for small gardens or raised beds. Plus, it opens up room below for companion plants or herbs, turning one patch into a layered food-growing system. Use a scarecrow with aluminum foil strips. Give birds and critters a harmless fright with a classic scarecrow, upgraded with aluminum foil strips. Attach strips to the arms or hat so they flutter and shine in the breeze, creating movement and flashes of light that deter birds and squirrels. It's cheap, weather-resistant, and adds charm to the garden. Move the scarecrow occasionally for better results. Keeping pests guessing means your crops stay protected with minimal effort. Use an old drawer or crate for a harvest basket. Repurpose an old wooden drawer or crate as a sturdy harvest basket. Line it with a clean towel or mesh if needed and use it to collect vegetables, herbs, or fruit. The wooden sides protect your produce, and the open top makes it easy to rinse everything off later. It's durable, nostalgic, and keeps waste out of the landfill. Plus, carrying your bounty in something vintage just feels right after a day in the dirt. Keep a bucket of sand and oil for tools. Keep your garden tools clean and rust-free with a bucket filled with coarse sand and a bit of vegetable or motor oil. After use, stab your trowels, shears, and pruners into the bucket. The sand scrubs off dirt while the oil coats and protects the metal. It's a simple way to maintain sharpness and extend the life of your tools with almost no extra effort. Maintenance becomes part of your routine, not a chore. Sprinkle diatomaceous earth around vulnerable plants. Guard your plants naturally with a dusting of food-grade diatomaceous earth. Sprinkle it in a circle around vulnerable crops like lettuce, squash, or strawberries. The powder is harmless to humans and pets, but deadly to soft-bodied insects like slugs, aphids, and ants. It works by dehydrating them on contact. Reapply after rain or heavy watering. It's a safe, effective line of defense that fits right into any low-maintenance, high-yield garden plan. Plant dill and fennel to attract ladybugs. Dill and fennel aren't just flavorful herbs, they're magnets for beneficial insects like ladybugs. Ladybugs feast on aphids, mites, and other pests that target your crops. By planting dill or fennel near vulnerable vegetables, you naturally encourage these little helpers to stick around. Their umbel-shaped flowers also attract pollinators and other friendly bugs. It's a beautiful way to balance your garden ecosystem while cutting down on chemical sprays, and it smells pretty good too. Plant by the moon phases. Many traditional gardeners, including Grandpa, swore by planting with the moon. The idea is to align sowing and transplanting with the gravitational pull of the moon, which influences moisture in the soil, just like tides. Plant above-ground crops during the waxing moon and root crops during the waning moon. Whether for tradition or timing, many believe this method boosts germination and yields. It's a rhythm-based approach to gardening that's been used for centuries and continues to thrive. Hang shiny pie tins in fruit trees. Deter birds from stealing your fruit by hanging old pie tins from branches with string. As they spin and reflect sunlight, they startle birds and other small animals that might snack on your apples, cherries, or berries. They also rattle slightly in the wind, adding movement and sound. It's an easy, reusable deterrent that won't harm wildlife and adds a touch of vintage charm to your trees while they ripen in peace. Store root veggies in damp sand in a box. Keep carrots, beets, and parsnips fresh for months by storing them in damp sand. Fill a wooden or plastic box with moist but not wet sand, then layer in unwashed root vegetables. The sand maintains consistent humidity, which keeps them crisp without sprouting or rotting. Store the box in a cool, dark place like a basement or cellar. This old-fashioned method works surprisingly well, giving you garden-fresh produce long into winter. And while your veggies rest, your soil needs a refresh too. Rotate crops yearly. Rotating crops is essential for maintaining soil health and preventing pests and disease buildup. Each year, plant your crops in a different section of the garden. For example, follow leafy greens with legumes, then root vegetables, then fruiting plants like tomatoes or peppers. This cycle balances nutrient usage and disrupts pest life cycles, reducing the need for fertilizers or pesticides. Use milk jugs as mini greenhouses. Repurpose empty plastic milk jugs into protective mini greenhouses for young seedlings. Cut off the bottom, remove the cap, and place the jug over tender plants. This shields them from cold snaps, wind, and pests while allowing sunlight to reach them. The jug traps moisture and warmth, creating a stable microclimate that encourages early growth. It's a great way to get a head start on the season without spending a dime on garden clothes. Use Epsom salts on tomatoes and peppers. Boost your tomato and pepper plants by adding Epsom salts, which are rich in magnesium and sulfur. Mix 1 tablespoon with a gallon of water and use it as a foliar spray or pour it at the base every couple of weeks. These nutrients help promote strong roots, better flowering, and fruit development. If your leaves are yellowing or curling, this could be the missing mineral. A little sprinkle can make a big difference come harvest time. Plant lettuce between rows of taller crops. Maximize space and shade by planting lettuce between taller crops like corn, tomatoes, or pole beans. Lettuce prefers cooler, shaded conditions, so the leafy canopy from larger plants helps protect it from summer heat and prevents it from bolting too soon. It's an easy way to squeeze more produce out of every square foot while creating a mini microclimate that benefits both crops. It's companion planting at its best: more food, less effort. Bury clay pots for deep watering. Keep your garden hydrated with less water by burying unglazed clay pots or ollas near the root zones of your plants. Fill them with water, and the porous clay allows moisture to slowly seep into the soil, delivering it right where plants need it. This method reduces evaporation and encourages deeper root growth, making plants more drought tolerant. It's a brilliant, low-tech solution for hot climates or busy gardeners who want to water less often. Water early in the morning. According to Grandpa, watering in the early morning hours gives plants the moisture they need to thrive throughout the day. It also allows leaves to dry quickly, reducing the risk of fungal diseases and mildew. Cooler temperatures in the morning mean less evaporation, so more water reaches the roots. Avoid watering at night, which can encourage mold and slugs. Make it part of your morning routine. Your plants will be more resilient, and your garden will thank you for it. Mulch heavily with straw or leaves. A thick layer of straw or shredded leaves helps lock in moisture, suppress weeds, and regulate soil temperature. Spread 2 to 4 inches around your plants, leaving a bit of space near stems to prevent rot. Over time, the mulch breaks down and adds organic matter to the soil. It's especially helpful during hot summers or dry spells. Less watering, fewer weeds, and healthier soil, all from a few rakes of what might have gone to waste. Use old coffee grounds for nitrogen. Used coffee grounds are a free, natural way to boost nitrogen in your garden. Sprinkle them lightly around the base of plants or mix them into compost. They improve soil texture, feed microorganisms, and help leafy greens like spinach or lettuce thrive. Just don't overdo it. Too much can make the soil too acidic. It's a simple, sustainable way to turn your morning brew into fuel for your vegetables. And when fall rolls in, there's another leaf-based trick worth using. Layer fall leaves in garden beds. Don't bag up those fall leaves, put them to work. Shred them if possible, and layer them directly into garden beds as mulch or as a base for lasagna gardening. They add organic matter, suppress weeds, and feed the soil as they break down over winter. Wet them down to help them settle and stay in place. It's free, effective, and reduces waste. And when it's time to water smarter, Grandpa had a trick that still holds up today. Create a drip irrigation system from old hoses. Grandpa never let a leaky hose go to waste. He'd poke small holes along the length of an old hose, cap the end, and lay it along garden rows. Hook it up to a faucet, and water seeps slowly into the soil, delivering steady moisture right at the roots. It conserves water, saves time, and keeps leaves dry, reducing disease risk. With a little DIY effort, you've got an efficient system that works while you rest. Use burlap sacks for weed control. Burlap sacks make an excellent, biodegradable weed barrier. Lay them flat between rows or around plants, then cover with a layer of straw or compost. The burlap blocks sunlight, preventing weed seeds from sprouting while still allowing air and water to reach the soil. Over time, the fabric breaks down naturally, improving soil health. It's a great way to reuse materials while cutting back on weeding, so you can spend more time harvesting and less time pulling. Pinch off tomato suckers. To grow stronger, more productive tomato plants, regularly pinch off the suckers, the small shoots that appear where branches meet the main stem. These suckers draw energy away from fruit production, leading to more leaves but fewer tomatoes. Use your fingers to gently snap them off when they're small. This encourages better airflow, reduces disease risk, and channels the plant's energy into fruit, not excess foliage. A little trimming now means a juicier, healthier harvest later. Use corn stalks as natural bean poles. Companion planting gets a practical upgrade when you let bean vines climb corn stalks. Plant pole beans near young corn, and as the stalks grow, they become living supports. The beans return the favor by fixing nitrogen in the soil, which benefits the corn. It's an old-fashioned, space-saving trick used in Three Sisters gardens, and it works beautifully in raised beds or large plots. Nature supports itself when you let plants work together. Soil blocks for seed starting. Ditch the plastic trays and try soil blocks for seed starting. Mix moist seed starting mix. Press it into a soil block mold or make your own, and release the compact blocks onto a tray. Plant one seed per block. These blocks eliminate transplant shock, as roots aren't restricted by container walls and don't get root bound. When it's time to transplant, just pop them into the soil. No plastic, no waste, just healthy, ready to grow seedlings. Mix dish soap with water to spray aphids. Tackle aphids without harsh chemicals using a simple spray. Mix 1 teaspoon of mild dish soap into 1 quart of water, then pour it into a spray bottle. Spritz directly on affected plant leaves, especially the undersides, where aphids like to hide. The soap breaks down the pest's protective coating, causing them to dry out. It's safe for most plants and effective when repeated every few days. For more contents like this, click here to subscribe.